Okay, this is a parts per million and a parts per billion question. It says 42.0 gram sample of wastewater has 0.48 milligrams of mercury. What is the parts per million and parts per billion of mercury? Well, let's get our parts per million and parts per billion formulas out. If I wanted to know the parts per million of mercury, I would take the mass of mercury in grams divided by the total mass of the solution or the sample that I'm looking at in grams and multiply it by a million, 10 to the sixth. Likewise, parts per billion would take the same ratio, grams of mercury divided by total mass of the solution or sample times a billion this time. So these are my formulas for parts per million and parts per billion, and I need to get grams of mercury in this particular equation, but I'm given milligrams. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and convert 0.048 milligrams to grams. 1 milligram is 10 to the minus 3 grams. So it's 0.0048 grams of mercury. Now, the next part is total mass. I have to get the total mass, and I'm going to show you in a second why it's just going to be 42 grams, and it's all about sig figs. So let's go ahead and do the addition real quick. I'd have to add up the 42 grams plus the 0.0048 grams of mercury. I'm missing a zero there. Let's see. Go back and fix that. 0.48 grams of mercury, and I would get 42.00048 grams. And now I would want to go ahead and apply my sig fig rule, and it says the sig fig rule says I take the amount that have of the least number of decimal places, and in this case that's 1 decimal place. So when I actually write the value down, I just get 42.0 gram of sample. So in order to calculate parts per million, I'm just going to use that 42 grams. So 0.00048 grams of mercury divided by 42.0 grams of the solution or the sample in this case times a million, and I get 11 parts per million. If I want to do parts per billion, I take the same ratio, 0.00048 grams of mercury, divide it by 42.0 grams of solution or sample, and this time I multiply it by a billion. I'm going to get 11,000 parts per billion in this case. And so I've gotten both parts per million and parts per billion of mercury. So I'm done with the problem. Okay, that's it.